going on? All right, what's the news? Knicks Real Talk. Knicks family, what's going on? Good evening. It's Knicks Real Talk Tonight show. It's your man Divine in here with my whole co-host, man, BX Jedi 76. We in here about to bring y'all some content tonight. Knicks got a game off. So we here tonight, man. Cut up a little bit. Knicks Real Talk Tonight show. We in here. Salute to everybody out there, man. Hope y'all chime in, check out the show. We're gonna get into much content. We got a lot to talk about tonight, man. Have a little fun tonight. As you know, the Knicks don't have a game tonight. They off. They play tomorrow. So we're going to get into the previous game recap, the buyout market, the Eastern Conference standings. We're going to get into a whole lot of things tonight, man. So I'm glad everybody here. I got my man BX Jedi in the building, man. So we're going to get into it, man. And yeah, I know my motto, man. Just take care of yourself. Be careful when you're out there doing your thing, man. You know, now you're out there on your grind. COVID-19 still in effect. Wash your hands, mask up. You know what I mean? Keep the distance, man. Just protect everybody and protect yourselves. And we're just going to get into it tonight, man. And let me bring my co-host in, Beer Jedi. What's going on tonight, my brother?
Good evening, Divine. Good evening, everyone out in YouTube and on the chat. Thank you for joining us, coming on. We want to break into the schedule and the games currently on tap this night. After half, you have the Brooklyn Nets heading into Detroit Pistons, and you have the Boston Celtics into one. And they're currently leading 44-39, and that's in the mid-second quarter. You have at the half, you have the Suns 53 and the Toronto Raptors 51. Currently in the first quarter, ending of the first quarter, you have the Nuggets 26, the Pelicans 31. In Minnesota, you have the Rockets versus the Timberwolves. The Timberwolves are up 28-23. In Orlando, the Magic's host the Trailblazers, and they're currently leading 28-23 in the first quarter. The Miami Heat and the Charlotte Hornets, a game that we keep an eye on for selfish reasons. Right now, the Hornets all over Miami, 34-21. That's just early in the first quarter. The first quarter actually started the second quarter. You have later on tonight, you have the Pacers against the Mavericks, the Grizzlies against the Jazz, the Hawks heading. That's later on tonight, and the Cavaliers and the Lakers. Divine, let's talk about last night's Knicks win. They improved their record to 23-22 with that 106-102 win over the Wizards. They shot 36%, and the Cavaliers shot 40. The Wizards, shot 46%. They were 25%, 7 from 28 from three-point land. They were 73% from the free throw line. They had 55 rebounds, 14 team assists, 4 blocks, 12 steals, 12 turnovers, and they had 36 points in the paint. It was an impressive fourth quarter. What is your thought? Because I am dying to hear what you have to say, because we knew they're what you call them, the gritty committee. Divine, it's all yours.
Yeah, man. Salute to everybody out there, man. Yeah, last night's game, it was amazing. An edge biter, but resiliency just came to the forefront. And that's that second. You know what? Through that whole course of the game, BX, I wasn't worried. I was like, we're gonna make our run. It so happened that it happened a little later in the game, but I just knew that they couldn't get us to 20. You know what I mean? I'm like, they couldn't get up to 20 on us. I'm like, when I seen that, I'm like, okay, you know what? We got a good chance to come back in this game, because it seemed like no matter what they do, they couldn't get us over 20 points. And I knew we was going to eventually pull it together. And I think we did. I think RJ was a big um, motivation for that reason, man. After that, I think the end of the quarter when he tipped that shot back in, and when I heard him, he like, "Yo, let's go." That was it. I like they gonna come out in the fourth quarter. They just gonna start getting busy, and it did carry over. And the energy from Todd Gibson. I mean, they had that bullish mentality last night. So I knew that we was gonna be in that game at the end, and we sure did, man. They pulled it out. What a comeback, man. To be down almost the whole game, and then just go in that full quarter. Say, you know what? Chip away bit by bit, and get there. And next thing you know, they came through, man. And I just think that was so awesome for them to be able to just sustain for a while and just maintain and just say, you know what, we're gonna get a run. We're gonna eventually get back in here. And I think they did. I think they did a hell of a job getting back into that game. So I am truly excited about the way we that turned out. And what can I say? Alex Burks, big game. RJ, big game. Julius Randle, not a big game, but what he showed me was in the clutch when he hit them big shots. You know what I mean? I'm like, quickly. Young man got a confidence, straight confidence. You know what I mean? And so it was Todd Gibson, man. What can I say? Now you see the reason why you had savvy veterans on your team. You know what I mean? For us to be down the guy we had out and still competed the way we did, knowing that they were going to try to bring their A game because we embarrassed them the other night. You know what I mean? The night before that. So that was real nice to see, man. I just love the competitor. I love this team, man. I'm telling you, I love what this team, the way they fight, the way they compete, next man up mentality. It doesn't even matter if they down a man. They seem like they always going to be in the game. So that I really truly love that performance last night. I thought it was awesome. And we got a tough road ahead. So to get that game last night, to get the Wizards, sweep them, play a game above 500. Fifth, it's looking good, man. So overall, I like the way our defense played last night. They only gave up 102, whatever the case may be. I can't recall the score, but they stayed, they competed. They defense kept them in the game for their offense to finally catch up to the game. And I think that when RJ after the end of that third quarter, like I said, when he got that tip in and you seen that passion come out of him, and he said, "Yo, let's go." That's a young leader right there. That was a young leader. You know what I mean? That showed me that was a young leader. So yeah, man, I was excited about that. That was a beautiful game, man. Beautiful comeback. And that's the reason why, I called it, what? When the dust settled after the trade deadline, it's the comeback. That's the show tonight. You know what I mean? And it was awesome to see BX, man. So I'm looking forward. Real quick, let me salute the chat for chiming in. Camilio, we see you, my brother. What's going on with you? Brooklyn Belly, salute. We see you out there, man. Thanks for chiming into the chat tonight, man. It's all good. Knicks Real Talk Tonight show. Me and BX Jedi 76. We in the building talking Knicks tonight. We're gonna hold it down. And then, I'm going to let my man recap about what we just talked about the Washington Wizards and all that good stuff. And then we'll move on to the next segment. Go ahead, BX.
My take on the game, I would be lying if I said I was a little frustrated. Mm-hmm. I'm like, here we are. We stand pat, we're ready to go. And they sleptwalk, but they never let the team go over 20 points. They get the game in reach, in striking distance, like you said. And I really like the defense. I'm going to say the unsung hero of the game, in my opinion, was Tosh Gibson. That's like he was like a coach out there. The time when RJ went to the hole and he got knocked down, and he got up, and that's leadership. Up in front of our eyes as a two-way player. At least last night he played. We're long hurt, but he closed out the game, and we need a closer. Hopefully, this is the growth of RJ being our closer. I really like to see, like Brooklyn Belly said, quickly look like a point guard, handing out the assists, moving the ball around, penetrating and dishing. It was great to see. It was good close to Alex Burke, averaging over 21 points in the last 5 games of scoring. Excellent job, phenomenal. Yeah. And despite the fact and this one thing that impressed me, Divine, was we didn't have Bullock and we didn't have Noel, and we still held the team below 2 points below our average at 102. We gave up 104, our team average. And when we went down 11, I said, this is not out this game. And That experience that we had against Philadelphia and Brooklyn, it came out to show. Granted, that Wizards are a low team, but they're only a few. They were 3 games or 2 games out from the playoff, and even being in our position, they're not far away. They're a run away too from being part of
Right.
this March Madness, Eastern Conference Madness. And that's what that could be I agree with you, Brooklyn Betty. That could be a favorite game of the season. That could be a turning point game of the season because everyone's here, everyone's together. They made minor moves, and kudos on the front office. They were smart. They didn't get fleeced. They even added picks. They even added 2 more second-round picks to this team for coming up. And they got a good athletic player. And we don't know what he could turn out under Tibbs and the system. Under the coaching staff, we do have great coaching staff. We're surrounded with good coaching staff, good development, player development. And this kid's a long that he averaged 6.2 points a game last season. There's potential. There's athleticism. If not, well, we took a flyer. We opened up, but we'll talk about why he opened up spots later down the road. And I see that this team is the reason why Tibbs is the right guy for this system. They're all buying in, Divine. They all buy into his system. They all buy into the message. Julius Randle leads by example, and I'm not gonna lie, to be honest. When Randle went down and he was hurting in his leg, I'm like, oh man, we didn't make a deal, and our big dog got hurt. Man, you know how the media is gonna kill the Knicks organization for not bringing in someone, especially if Randle's hurt. But next man up, and really gritty. And I like that Randle came in and hit situational key shots. He wasn't the main focus of the fourth quarter. It was RJ and Bert, and they were attacking each and every one. Man, what a good one of the best fourth quarters I've seen, I think, in the last 15 years with this organization. It was, the whole game was not a pretty game, but it was a fun game, Divine. I was with a smile. What do you think? What did you see that I missed out, or that you could tell me that was a big key in your book?
I think the big key in my book truly was that third quarter. R.J. Barrett took that game over. Said, "My man, our best all-star player is not having a real high scoring night. Let me go in here and do what I got to do." And R.J. showed me growth last night that you would not believe. I was like, okay, this young man really, really, really want this. You know what I mean? And they scrapped and battled. And I did, like you said, Todd Gibson minutes was phenomenal. You know what I mean? I don't, people can't underestimate what Todd Gibson did last night. His hustle, his blocks, his rebounding, scrapping for the ball, old man veteran like that out there doing that, man. I was like, that's impressive. And that's the reason why I want to get into this next segment. That's real important, man. And I made this segment because I came out with this concept, just this thought about 4 or 5 months ago when I was putting something on the stream. And that's why I said the New York City Gritty Committee, man, the team. That's what it's really about, the New York City Gritty Committee. The Knicks is just like, they got that fire like the city, man. I mean, they like them people getting on the streets, going to work, going on the subways, running around trying to get on their grind, hitting the subways, hitting the buses, hitting the taxis. That's that type of grittiness they got, man. They like the boroughs, man. The New York City Gritty Committee this year, Tom Thibodeau got that team scrapping. They got the, how would I say, they got the vibe of New York City in them, man. I mean, them cats is like, they just going at it, man. You know what I mean? It's like, you know what? No matter what, every night, them cats, even when they start off, whatever, I never worry. I don't think Knicks would get blowed out with that defense because they got that type of mentality. Even when things was going bad last night, Tom Thibodeau would say, you know what? We just need to itch away at this thing. You know what I mean? We need to keep playing. Y'all just need to kind of wake up because it looked like they were sleepwalking in the first quarter. Tom Thibodeau pulled them to the sidelines and listen, y'all gotta, get out of this. And I just think that, to stay competitive like that after being down like that, not worrying too much like we're gonna get back in the game. We just need to get our composure. Let's do this. Let's just do what we do. Let's get back in the Knicks basketball. That's why I think that grittiness, you can't really underestimate what that is for that team, man. And they do it by committee. They play hard together. They battle together. You know what I mean? And they lift each other up. I mean, they got each other's back. You know what I mean? It's like there's no envy, no jealousy, no animosity. They just play another team, man, and that's so great to see. And you know what? And despite like I said, we 23 and 22 for a reason. You know what I mean? That's part of it. That's part of the culture Tom Thibodeau got there and the coaching staff. They like, man, listen, this is who we are. We won't be able to deal with a lot of teams if we don't scrap. You know what I mean? Because we don't got superstar talent, so we got to scrap it out. You know what I mean? And it seemed like to me they just put together a group of scrappy players. You know what I mean? That got talent. You know, and people want to say they don't have talent. No, we have talent. It might not be superior, you know, talent, but we have good talent down there. And what we do have is NBA ball players. Let's forget the talent for a minute. We have NBA ball players, cats who come to the show, come to the gym, and put in work. They master the craft the best way they can. With having somebody who can manage how they use their craft. I just think that's why they so gritty to me, man. They tough, they battle, they compete, they don't let in, man. So that's why, you know, I feel they just so gritty, man, and I just love everything about it, man. So how do you feel about that, man? How gritty that team is, and why we call it the New York City Gritty Committee, the team. That's what it's about.
Yeah, they resemble once again what they play for, New York City. They're all one for all together. They're buying in. They lock arms and they go to battle, and they go to battle as a team. They go battle. They're one, and they got each other's back, which is wonderful. They see the unselfishness on the team, and the way it's from day one, from training camp. You know, the minute from day one and from game one, they're there. They you see them cheering for one another, rooting one another. Our guys get down. Our guys come pick them up from the ground. You know, it's a great hustle on this team. Every game they're in, they're not out on any game. They could come back on anyone going forward. I really like what I see with this team. I enjoy every bit of it, and I see that the ceiling is very high on this team. How far they're gonna reach if they keep playing the way they're playing? I dare to say they could stay in the fourth seed and continue to build. This is definitely a season where we change the perspective on the Knicks team, the Knicks organization, and the playing. This is a whole new perspective. They're not the same old Knicks. This is a new Knicks going into the new future, this new decade. And we have young players all under 26 years old, and we have a lot of picks and a lot of cap space. And now the ceiling is, as long as the front office is smart, which they are, and not do any dumb moves or any knee reaction moves, it's very positive, Divine. And we have to be really happy with this organization, what we're going through right now.
Yeah, absolutely. BX, I agree 100%, man. I don't think you can underestimate what this team is doing down there, man. And I just think that it's like I said, the Tom Thibodeau got them guys playing that hard New York passionate basketball. I mean, you know, that's why it's a basketball and then every corner, man. That's why they call it the Mecca. And that's truly, to me, really what it is, man. He bringing back the Mecca of basketball to Madison Square Garden. You know what I mean? The substance of it, you know, the feeling of it, just the hustle and bustle of New York City, man. The grind, to go hard. You know what I mean? And you know, and put it all out there. You know, he bringing that mentality there, and this is great to see, man. Because I think it's showing up in the way they playing. You know what I mean? They playing. That culture is really a gritty culture, man. You know, and it's well orchestrated. Salute to Tom Thibodeau. You know, he's the captain of that shit, man, and he got them soldiers playing some good ball down there, and I'm happy about it. Like I say, you know, maybe a lot of people on the outside might not be happy about the Knicks playing, but us as fans, we should be ecstatic the way the Knicks are playing, because I think what it has been for the last 8 years. You know what I mean? And to see us in the thick of a playoff race this time of the season with probably 27, 28 games left, and we competing not just to get in, we competing to stay in a higher seed. You know what I mean? But I think that's a testament to how gritty this team is. So granted, we ain't gonna score 120 a night, but you know what the key is, Knicks fan, we ain't giving up 120 a night neither. So that keeps us in the race all the time. You know what I mean? Washington can put up 100 and something on somebody easy. You know what I mean? They easy. And you got to give like just look at RJ and what he did on Bradley Beal. You know what I mean? Defensively. You know, people can't underestimate what RJ did. Bradley Beal 2 games against the Knicks was nothing compared to what he do in the regular season. Because I think a lot of people don't understand something when you play the Knicks. Not only when you play a lot of teams in Association BX, you're going against a team who's going to out try scoring you. You know what I mean? We're going to try to put a number you put up. But so what's so unique about the Knicks is when you go and play the Knicks, they're not gonna try to outscore you. They're gonna try to stop you from scoring. And a lot of teams don't get used to that, because usually it's mano a mano. You score a bucket, I score a bucket. You hit a three, I hit a three. But now it's like, no, you gotta work for that. You know what I mean? You that's not the way we play basketball down here. We listen, we trying to stop that. We're not gonna let you do it. And we know we can't compete with you offensively, at least not yet, but it's looking good. But we know what? We can stop you from getting that on us too. And I just think that's the greediness of this team. And I'm really truly intrigued by that, man. Just to know that we have a we have a team that plays like that, So salute to the Knicks organization for putting this together, man. And how hard they go. They're going hard, man, and that's what we've been wanting to see for the last so many years. Just some dudes out there competing every night. Knicks fans love a team that you might not be the most talented, but you come in that arena, you play hard, they're gonna root for you. You know what I mean? And I think they done established that. And what can I say, man? That Tom Thibodeau got his stamp all over that culture. You know what I mean? You could book that. You know what I mean? So. It's exciting to see Knicks fans. So it's all good, man. Salute to the chat, man. Salute to everybody out there in Knick Land, Knicks Real Talk, the Night Show, Divine, BF Jedi 76, man. We in the building, man. Just cutting it up, man. Talking Knicks tonight on the night off. Nothing going on for us, but the association, they got games going on. So something that's important to us for the standards and all that stuff. So we're gonna get into that, man, and talk about the standards and all that. Because right now, let me put out there right now. What's going on, and BS talked about it earlier tonight, but I didn't get to run it, so let me run it for you guys right quick. This is the scheduling association night down on the clicker. You can see what's going on the ticker and see who's playing tonight. So some of those games is important to us, like that Heat or Hornets game. You know what I mean? It's important to us. You know what I mean? Pacers game against the Mavericks. So that's an important game for us. I mean, you got the Hawks and the Warriors is another important game. So it's some real important game for us in the association tonight, and I just want to run that through right quick. And we just gotta go ahead, man. That the Sixers and the Sixers game was a tough one, but that Boston Celtic game is a real important game for us as well. You know what I mean? So we got to look at that game tonight, man. Because I think that's going to be a pivotal game for us. That Celtics and Bucks. Raptors got the Suns. Like I said, Heat or Hornets. You know what I mean? We compete against all the teams in there, so we got to just kind of hope how that thing play out tonight for the schedule, man. Then and we'll see where that way. Hopefully, we get to gain ground on a couple of teams tonight, or if somebody lose and everything. So we're excited about that, man. But then let's do this here, because I think this really is important, man. This Eastern Conference standing race, is like as prior to the day right now, the Sixers number 1, Bucks 2, Nets 3, Hornets, the Knicks at 5, Hawks at 6. Heat at 7, Celtics at 8, Pacers at 9, the Bulls at 10, the Raptors 11, Cavaliers 12, the Wizards 13, the Magic 14, the Pistons 15. So what you think about that Eastern Conference standing, man, the race, man? Because it is interesting.
It's very interesting, especially with tonight's game between the Hornets and the Heat. That's going to be there. It looks like right now Hornets are really giving it to the Heat tonight. It looks like the Heat will lose some ground and currently. The Celtics are up on the Milwaukee Bucks. That's after halftime, and if that stays true, you're going to see the Celtics flip flop with Miami in that 7-8 spot. Even though Miami has its reinforcements, but you don't want Miami to start losing and fall behind. On this, because everybody is so bunched up. So we know that they're going to get their reinforcements soon. We keep an eye on that. And these standings, they're going to be a lot of flip flops. We're going to gain ground. We're gaining ground. We're going to gain ground on the Miami Heat. Or the Hornets, but it looks like it's going to be the Heat. And we have the Hawks on the West Coast. So hopefully they get a tough battle with Golden State, and Golden State knocks them off. And we'll also get another half-game lead on them going into tomorrow night against the Milwaukee Bucks. We play them tomorrow night in Milwaukee at 8 o'clock. And we'll see. We're seeing a lot of interesting movement. A lot of remember, these players have to come into their new teams that were traded. They have to get acclimated. They have to get part of the system. They got to go through. They need a couple games themselves to get their legs, with the team and acclimated with the team. So this is an opportunity, since the Knicks stood pat and stood whole, to actually gain some ground on these teams while they're gel or while they get their players acclimated to their systems. They have to go through small growing pains. That's why we look at it and it's like, wow, we wanted to trade and make all these trades and be active. But if you think about it, we have no room for error to bring these players in to get acclimated. So that's an interesting perspective that we need to keep an eye on that, Divine.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I agree with you because a lot of teams got to go through that. They got to get players there. The player that's coming in, So even when like that's hypothetical, when Oladipo get to the Heat, I mean, he gonna have to blend in with that, which is fine because you want them ready for the end of the season. You want to hope they blend, they gel, and get together by the end of the season, which is important. But I'm glad what we did, man. For us to be at the fifth spot now after the trading deadline, didn't make a move, but also after the trading deadline, we went in and got a win. And reason why I'm comfortable with where we at and what we have, man. I like the team. I just want to see us get 100% healthy. Can you imagine when Derrick Rose get back? Can you imagine when Noel get back? Can you imagine when Bullock get back? I mean, man, you talk about a deep team, man. They deep at every position. You know what I mean? And you know what? And they got serviceable guys who can come in. So just think about that, man. And even with we're gonna be fully loaded. You know what I mean? And so we're gonna be in the thick of it. Everybody probably be tripped because we didn't make a major move at the deadline. We didn't need to make a move because you know why? At the end, when all the dust settles, we got 60, almost close to 60 million in cap space if we want to. Draft picks, and we didn't give up anything. You know what I mean? So salute to the Knicks organization, man. Salute to Dion Rose no longer for staying pat for a minute. It's only 28 games left in the season. So I think we're strong enough to get there where we have. And we don't, like I said, we'll talk about that in a few with the buyout market. We still got a roster spot. So, you never know. We might bring in another piece, you know what I mean? And so I think right now, though, but I think Tom Thibodeau happy with that team. And I really like where we at, man. Like I said, right now, for the Eastern Conference, the Sixers going to be there. They there where they there. When the Nets get KD back, you know what I mean? And they gonna probably do this, wait for their thing to come to the end of the season where they got everybody healthy. The Bucks is obviously who they are. Hornets, you know what I mean? They even talking about possible LaMelo Ball coming back. But for us to be where we at and competing the way we compete, and the Hawks, the Heat gonna ride. We know they're not gonna stay down there. We obviously know that. So I mean, if we could maintain that, if we could just stay from that 6-4, man. We can get in that 6-4 and had to avoid that play in all that mess, then I think we'd be in good shape. So the Eastern Conference standard is going to be a tight race all the way down, man, all the way down to the wire. So we need to accumulate, beat the team like we need to beat, which we did last night. We needed to beat that team last night. You know what I mean? And we did. That showed me that you beat the teams you could beat, then you try to go in there and battle hard against a team that's superior than you, but you still give yourself a chance to win. So I think we're gonna stay in this Eastern Conference standing. I think we're gonna hopefully we stay between 4 and 6, and I'll just say Miami, and even if Boston, they might. We just gonna have to take care of the Charlotte Hornets and the Hawks and all the guys. And I think our defense gives us a chance to do that, man. I think people don't understand. I wouldn't say people don't understand. Most don't realize how important it to have a defense like that because I think it keeps us in these standards. It keeps us around where we at between 4 and 6. You know what I mean? Let's say we the Heat go up and the Hornets go down and the Hawks go down and the Celtics come up hypothetically. I'm good with that because I think we can deal with everything else. I just think I think our team is starting to gel, BX, and I think that they're starting to get that chemistry and that camaraderie starting to get together. So I think we're going to see a real good team in going forward because everybody hopefully they'll be healthy. And I think Derrick Rose will make a big difference. I think he's going to make a huge difference. I really believe that. And I think when Bullock get back, man, it's gonna be on. So I'm excited. What you think, man? Before we go into the next segment, do you think the Knicks gonna stay pretty much in that 4 to 6, or you think they're gonna drop down? What's your guesstimation where you think they're gonna be at when the dust settles?
Barring injuries, that's the big key. Barring injuries, I don't think they'll go past down the 6. I said they'll flirt with the 4th and then the 5th just to be in that middle there. But I won't say. Would I be surprised if they finish 4th in the Eastern Conference and host a playoff series at Madison Square Garden home team? Absolutely not. It will not shock me. I have no doubt that they will do well, and we will like that because that would definitely send that will elevate and we'll be ahead of schedule, and we'll shock the world because we're hosting we'll have home court and we're hosting the playoff. The first few games at home will be phenomenal. We want to, and we're showing now that we're beating the teams we need to beat at home. Even if we don't have, one of the things that was good about it, Divine, is we didn't have our A game last night, and we still pulled this game out and won. That shows characteristics of a winning team.
Absolutely.
That's what I liked about it because despite not having it, now we can't do that every night. But the teams you're supposed to be in, if you don't have your A game and you find a way to win on the defense, hustling for the ball, getting up and being after being knocked down, going for an N1 and getting back up and robbing the team in other ways. Even Obi Toppin yesterday had his hands was active. He had that done. Granted, it was a 6 foot point guard, but it's still a positive. It's something to build on. Obi Toppin had a positive game yesterday, despite not wowing everyone, but even Kevin Knox came in the game and gave us some contributor early in the first half, even though we were down by a few points, by almost double digits, and he was there. He was activated. He felt part of the team, and you don't know when you're going to catch lightning in a bottle. And we were hoping we would get that with Knox, but you see that camaraderie. You see them all invested and engaged. They came in the game, even if you haven't been on the bench for over 3 weeks. You get in there and you're still going at it, attacking, moving, being active, and that's something that gives you positivity. And yes, I don't see them going lower than the 6th seed. Divine.
Oh, good. Yeah, I agree, man. I think we are who we are, and I think we are who we are. And I said it all season long, and I repeat it. I think we are 500 team. And if we play better than 500, that's a blessing. But the way this team is playing, I think after the games against Brooklyn and Philly and Philly again, it just showed me something. You know what I mean? It showed me what I already knew, but it confirmed it to me. Like this team is built to win games. Tom Thibodeau said, "What's his model? He liked to win." You know what I'm saying? He about winning, and it's showing up. You know what I mean? And I think it's starting to show why he's about winning, because the team is winning. You know what I mean? He just said he wanted to win. So, and I agree with 100%, man. That's what it should be about. You know what I mean? It should be about trying to win games. So I'm excited about that. I think we can stand these standards. I really do believe the Heat once they get settled in, because you think about it, they bring us a fire. Not only Depot, they brought in Trevor Ariza. You know what I mean? So they bringing in players. And they were the Eastern Conference champs last year. You know what I mean? So we know every sports are going to have them hitting their stride by the end of the season. That's when it all counts. That's why it was so important for us to come out the gate with wins. You know what I mean? Come out the gate yesterday after the trade deadline with a win, because this is where you're gonna see what basketball is made of right now. Going from here on out, you're gonna see what real teams and what basketball. That's the reason why they do what they do. And this is just gonna show you what real teams are made of. Now you're gonna see who's the pretenders and the contenders to get to the playoff. And I just think the Knicks ain't no pretenders. I don't believe that. I think they playing excellent basketball. And I think the Alec Burks of the world getting back in his groove. Think about it, man. This cat giving you 20 something a game the last 5 games. Because you know what? Now I think it's going to be continuous. I think now he just hitting the stride. And what's so key to me is like everybody know they there. Now we're not worried about who leaving, who going, who got traded. Nah, man. And you know what? And I just think RJ and I think Randall, long they stay healthy. And Alex Burks give us that, what he giving us. Alex Burks almost make it seem like we got a big 3 down there with the way he playing. You know what I mean? So it's interesting. So I think if we can maintain that and Mitchell Robinson just dominate, him and Noel dominate that paint, because for me, what I love to see about, like, when we go up against the Bucks tomorrow, hypothetically, Mitchell Robinson and if Noel come back, you won't have no problem with Brook Lopez and them. You know what I mean? Because we got some big boys down there. You know what I mean? And we got to worry about Antetokounmpo, but you know what? We also got Julius Randle, who it said Antetokounmpo scored 28. Julius Randle can give you 25, 28 too. Though he's a superstar player, but Julius Randle on any given night can give you what Antetokounmpo give you from the number standpoint. I'm talking about how many points you score. Randle can easily go for 40 on some nights. But at the same time, Randle is playing Antetokounmpo tomorrow night. So Antetokounmpo is a good defense ball player, so we know he got linked too. So so it's going to be tough for him tomorrow. But they got a tough team down there with so it's gonna be interesting. We'll talk about that in the morning show tomorrow. But for the Eastern Conference standings, man, we good, bro. So I think that we just gotta keep it moving and keep battling and all that good stuff. And I think we'd be fine, man. Because right now, we into the buyout market. So I know you might. What do you think? You got something about the buyout market that's out there that you might be aware of? Any players that you think might be coming on the buyout market? And let me know. And tell me what you think, man. What you got going on with that?
Absolutely. Thank you to everyone on the chat. Please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. We would really appreciate it. And with the Knicks improving to 23 and 22 and the trade deadline passing by, there are now the buyout market. As last night, we all know, I'm going to run down a list of the potential players that might be bought out and are currently bought out. You have with the number one darling of all the buyout is Andre Drummond was bought out by the Cleveland Cavaliers. He is available as a center, followed by LaMarcus Aldridge, who also been bought out by the San Antonio Spurs. Otis Porter Jr., a small forward, is available on the buyout market. Avery Bradley, a shooting guard, was also bought out. Jamari Parker, former number 2 pick, 26-year-old young man who averaged 15 points, is out there. Sacramento did not kept him, and they bought him out. You have Corey Joseph, another guard, Ronnie Hood, Hassan Whiteside, Ben McLemore, Maurice Harkless, Jeff Teague. All the names out there, and it could be more because there is a mandatory deadline for them to be bought out so they could hook on with a team and be on the playoff roster. So there's a lot. These are the current names out there, and there's going to be more. Now I'm asking you out there in the chat and to you as well, Divine, any of those names, any one of those players interested? We know that the Knicks are linked into Andre Drummond, and they have the most cap space to offer them a multi-year deal to bring them on, and they also have a roster spot. Now, do you see if the Knicks do have interest with Andre Drummond, do you think he fits the team, and you think how he will work chemistry-wise with this current roster?
I think me personally, talented as Andre Drummond is, I don't know if we just go ahead and wait till the off season to get him. You know what I mean? Because I really like our center spot. But people don't get me wrong. I'm not saying the Knicks shouldn't get Andre Drummond. Andre Drummond is a terrific, hell of a ball player. It's a double machine. But if that's the route they have to go, then they have to go. You know what I mean? That's what they're gonna do. You know what I mean? But I do like what we have there, and then you know what? If we sit down and talk to Drummond. And he, you know, because now he's it's not like we tampering with nobody's player. You know what I mean? We say, listen, do you want to go chase a ring, and we sign you in the off season that we can make moves by then? You know what I mean? Or you want to come to us now? You know what I mean? So it might be interesting, but because either way it go, if we get him, that means somebody between it's going to create some type of whatever there. Because now Mitch, Noel, and Todd Gibson. I think that's going to cause some type of friction there. You know what I mean? Because let's say if you start Drummond gonna have to get 30 minutes. You know what I mean? Well, you can't do that now, and unless they're going to waive somebody. You know what I mean? Unless you're going to waive a Noel because he's inspiring anyway. But I know I don't know how that's going to work out. You know what I mean? But I tell you on the short end because I have no problem with Maurice Harkless coming back. Because I think Maurice Harkless, his defense and his game good enough to back up Julius Randle when Randle need minutes. You know what I mean? When Randle need to go to get a break, I think Mo Harkless or Jabari Parker, because they don't have, like Steph said in a previous show, we don't need nobody coming in and give us 20 minutes because Julius Randle going to play us 30 minutes. You know what I mean? It's 30 minutes or whatever. So you just need somebody who can come in there just like Obi Toppin doing, but can also give you more than Obi Toppin can give you. I think between Mo Harkless and Jabari Parker, that's a no-brainer. They ain't gonna cost you nothing. You know what I mean? Not that much. They can't command much. You know what I mean? So they might come in there for a mid-level. I don't know what, $1 million, $2 million, $3 million. I don't know, but I would like to see somebody like Mo Harkless or Jabari Parker. Because like I said, we not unless you talking about a Marcus Aldridge or a Drummond, some of the major players out there. Other than that, I think we're good in every position. I just think that if we're gonna stay packed with our team, I just think that backup power forward can be a good role for us. Because especially if we can play three. Mo Harkless can play 3 and 4. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. So I think they stood packed for a reason because they really wanted the Knicks really wanted Andre Drummond. They could have got him. You know what I mean? And if they still going to get him, they can still get him. And even after that, they still can get him in the off season. So I don't know how mandatory it is, BX, about that. But my 2 picks for me would definitely be Mo Harkless and Jabari Parker, one of them, just to give Randall that 15-minute, stretch in the game instead of paying all the minutes. He can play 35, he can play 32, whatever, and keep him fresh. And the Knicks don't lose nothing on the offense or defense end. I'll take one of them guys in a minute.
Now my thought is Andre Drummond is intriguing to me. To my point is you could do a twin tower play. Mm-hmm. You could put Mitchell Robinson and play Noel forward, or vice versa. you could place those two big guys at times, and get that rotation. But you could go ahead and tell Andre Drummond, listen, we have we're gonna play you only, now you could speak with them and throw a little game plan. We'll play you 25 minutes in the regular season, but once come playoff time, we're gonna play the hot hand. If you're the hot hand center, you're gonna keep playing hot. We're gonna keep feeding you in the center, and the center is by performance. So we'll see how that goes. And I want to say quickly salute to Will Sackman. Thank you, my brother, for coming on. I appreciate
Look,
it.
Will.
And we're talking about here the buyout market, which players. My pick, if they can't get Drummond on a 2-year deal, team friendly, or where he makes his money and it won't cost us to get more, I will be for it. We'll try something. Let's see if we could do a Twin Towers. It did work for San Antonio. Now we just got to talk to Drummond. Drummond is he willing to play power forward at times? And if he's down and he's allow Mitch or our centers to play and man the paint, maybe he'll go with it because he could be concentrating on rebounding and shooting the jumper on offense, and he doesn't have to do all that heavy lifting in the center because we have centers that are more capable and able and willing to and want to do all that defending the paint. And my second player that I would like to see is Jabari Parker. I would like the Knicks to go after Jabari Parker just for 10 minutes, 10, 12 minutes a night. If they're not going to get the Drummonds, because Jabari Parker is 26 years old. He was the reason why he was a number 2 pick. Maybe we know what happened, and he didn't fit the Sacramento's plan system. And they're struggling with all their picks. Marvin Bagley III is struggling in that organization as well. Another high upper lottery pick. And it could be the system. Maybe he does need to change the scenery. Maybe there's something that Tom Thibodeau, Kenny Payne, and the coaching staff can unlock in this young man. You never know when you find a diamond in the rough. You get him on a vet veteran, for the remainder of the season, and you let him go if it doesn't work out. Because we have a lot jam, and we have Bullock who could play, and we just need someone to give Randall that spell, especially when we saw what happened yesterday with that left eye contusion. It kind of, you held your breath. You're like, oh my God, and we held our breath on that, and we'll see what that goes. There's a lot of interesting names. We have the most money that we could offer any player, followed by the Charlotte Hornets. So it'll be interesting. The Hornets only had, I think it was like $5 million or maybe less than that, and we have close to $13 million to offer. So there's a lot of money that we could, and if we really wanted to go buy out. But like I said, we like we were saying, if we stand pat, we stand pat. We believe in this team. We believe what they're showing on us. But the interesting to see all the extra movement, the extra engagement behind the scenes with all these your players that are available on this buyout market. And it'll be interesting to see other teams, what the other teams are. They're going to react to do something because there might be more names be bought out in the next 5 games before that deadline because they might be out of this. They might be out of the whole playoff situation and like, or they're going to just punt away and they're not going to. Then there's no reason to keep them around. You want to go, do your solid on the player. Maybe a Rudy Gay might be bought out. If San Antonio's really because they've lost a couple of games in a row. That's the hope, or we'll see. But then they haven't mentioned any buyouts with him. But you never know who and what could be bought out at any time. The same way as the Knicks, they could buy out of Noel and say, you know what, we trying to drum in and we might, go ahead and go sign on with a playoff team. You really gave us you held it down, and we're gonna let you go. And then I hope not because you know where he's gonna run to. He's gonna be run to the Lakers or Brooklyn. Because they could use that center that Noel on there. So. They have to think about it, and maybe the Knicks are thinking this. They're one of the top 4 in defense. They're climbing in scoring. Maybe they'll say maybe we'll suffer a little bit on our defense. Our defense is still superior, so we might be like 8 and improve in our offense with Drummond and be more have a balanced attack with defense and offense side. And we know and maybe we got the most out of our team with the current system, and they want to add more offense. I don't know. I'm just trying to put my head on the Knicks organization. They trust. They're very smart. So in the Knicks organization, in Rose we trust.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't know what the mandate is. How long you only can go so long on in the buyout market before you can't do it. So I don't know how many days is that. I'm not sure. I don't have too much knowledge of that. How long is the notorium for them going there? But I do. And I even like Mo Harkless. I mean, I only have in mind with Mo Harkless. Mo Harkless, he played for us last year. He's a good 3-and-D dude. You know what I mean? He's a good 3-and-D, but he's linky enough to play the 4. You know what I mean? So and we have an open roster spot. You know what I mean? And so a guy like him and Jabari Parker. I mean, one thing about Jabari Parker, we know he ain't the Jabari Parker that came out when he got injured, but he got skills. You know what I mean? The brother could put the ball in the hole, and he go at the hole with force too. You know what I mean? A little bit. So because now when he was younger, he was more like a finesse type of player. But now as he got older, he had put a little weight on him. I mean, bulk rather. I'm just saying he sized up a little bit. So he said he can. I think he can handle that back and forth real well. You know what I mean? Because like I said, the team we have, I'm good with what we have, but we do have an open roster spot, and if we can put somebody there that's just gonna just to give us another body that can get you 10 points. Somebody like Jabari Parker can get you 8 points and 9 points. He can get you what we thought Obi was going to give you backing up Randall. You know what I mean? Put it like that, and
Right.
I believe that. You know what I mean? And then having Knox and Franks and all them guys there in the back, if somebody go down. So I think the Knicks like that team, and there's some good players on the buyout market. But like I said, we know the creme de la creme right now is Andre Drummond, no question about it. You know what I mean? That was interesting what you said. If you did get Andre Drummond, let's say you started Drummond and you started Randall, hypothetically. Then when it's time to make a substitution, you substitute, I guess, Mitchell Robinson first for Drummond. You know what I mean? And Mitchell Robinson to be in there with Nerlens Noel. I'm sorry, we're being there with Julius Randle for a minute. Then time Julius Randle go to the bench. I guess you bring Noel in, and then you have Noel and Mitch. But at the same time, you also can. To me, it's so complicated. But I just don't know how that would work. It's totally tough, though. You know what I mean? Brooklyn Belly said he hoped Kelly Olynyk get bossed out. I Kelly. I hear you, Brooklyn Belly. Because I think he could play that stretch four. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think Olynyk could play that stretch four. I mean, that backing up Julius Randle. Yeah, I agree with you on that one. That was a good call, Brooklyn Belly. I could see that. I could see Kelly Olynyk down here. You know what I mean? He got a little group.
Kelly Olynyk on the Knicks roster going up against the Heat in a playoff series. Wanting to get revenge on the Heat for trade for letting him go and letting him, and he could shoot that three. Especially if we got guys driving like RJ Barrett and Randall. And that kid, he hurted us every time we played him. He's always knocking threes against us. So Kelly Olynyk is that's a very good one, Brooklyn Billy. I really enjoy. That's why you guys are part of our shows. You interact with us. You write on that chat, and we read these out. And when we see that you guys we're friends just like you, and that's why we encourage you to speak your voice here, and we'll read every comment we can and bring it out and give you guys the proper credit that it's needed for that. We appreciate that. That was a very good buyout candidate. Also, Leonard Meyer was bought out, the former Miami Heat player that had that slip up on Twitch. He shouldn't be talking. He should, be a professional. And you know what? You don't need to be professional. You need to be a decent human being speaking and conduct yourself at all times, no matter who's watching, who's not watching. But he's another player that has been bought out. Another one that his numbers are really decent. He's a really good player, but he made a mistake. We don't know, we don't know if there's any remorse in that player or anything like that. That's from between him and the good man upstairs. But he's another player that'd be interesting to be out there on the buyout. Now, would he be toxic and some NBA team won't play and might get blackballed? Who knows? But this is the United States of America. This is the land of second opportunities and forgiveness. But we got to make sure that this guy has a remorse on that and on that part with Myers. So we keep an eye on that. We will see on that buyout market. Any names you think, Divine, that you see might be launched out, or you might think that might be bought out, or something weird, or
you know what? Only thing I could think of, obviously, is somebody who's on who's on their last. They got aspiring, and being that they didn't get traded, so they on aspiring. They instead of that team saying, you know what, we're not really gonna do nothing with you. We'll buy you out. Like you said, Rudy Gay. It could, to me, it's gonna be some teams who got a guy that they not in that playoff hunt. You know what I mean? Like they not fighting for nothing. I'll put it like that. If they ain't fighting for nothing, then it's a possibility. You know what I mean? That would be my first thought. Is like a lot of teams who say, you know what, we're not going in that playoff spot. You know what? We don't have to eat this whole salary. If he's willing to take a pay cut for he can go to a playoff spot, then yeah, most likely it'll be somebody like a team like that. I'm surprised. No, I'm surprised by his contract is too bad. But they talking about John Wall and all these guys. They just too expensive, and I don't think they're gonna take no cut from that money they get. You know what I mean? They like, nah, I ain't taking no 30, $40 million off, or 20 million off for So I think they might as well keep them and try to make a part of their team. And I mean, they ain't have no choice really. That's why you look at the Bradley Bills and the Russell Westbrooks. Them guys gonna be there because they ain't got no choice. You didn't move them at the deadline, so I don't perceive you even buying them out because that's too much money to be buying out, and I just think that'd be a waste of money. So, but you never know, BX. I mean, there's always somebody out there lurking. And we'll see, man. We'll keep our ears to the ground, like you said, and our eyes open. We'll see who out there. I'm quite sure somebody gonna pop up out there in I don't know, the next couple of days, whatever the case may be, whenever that deadline comes. But real quick, man, salute to the chat. Will Silk, Will, I see you. Brooklyn Belly, Camilio, all you guys, man, salute for chiming in. Y'all hit that thumbs up, man. Knicks Real Talk Tonight Show. It's your man Divine and BX Jedi 76. We in here. Salute Frank Matos, my man. Salute Frank. We see you, my brother. Thanks for chiming in. Yeah, man, we just getting into it tonight. We just talk a little Knicks, no basketball tonight. We got a game tomorrow against the Bucks. We after we have that entertaining game the other night against the Washington Wizards, which I call the comeback, because that was truly the comeback. You know what I mean? And that was a good game, man. So y'all guys, let me know what y'all think, man, on a buyout mark out. If y'all got anybody got any suggestions in the chat, throw it out there so we can get into it before we move on to the next segment. But if you got an idea about the buyout market, who you would like to have on the Knicks team, throw it in the chat right quick, and we'll put it out there for you guys, man. We'll see what's happening. Will say he predicted show guys Jabari Parker is an interesting option. Yeah, Will, I agree, man. Just to give us some few little minutes to back up Randall. I think Jabari Parker definitely is interesting. And Frank say Andre Drummond to the Knicks. All right, Frank, we see you. So yeah, man, it's gonna be interesting, man. Hey, we got more, like I said, we got Mo Harkless out there. He played for the Knicks last year, 3-and-D guy to give Randall a couple of minutes, breather. It's gonna be interesting, guys. We got a roster. We don't see what they're gonna do, and they brought in Terrence Ferguson. We forgot, we got Terrence Ferguson in the trade, so we gotta see what they're gonna do with him. But I like where we at though. I'm not even mad at the Knicks right now. I'm happy that we didn't go bananas, give up draft picks. We stayed pat with 27, 28 games left. Season to be over soon. We go into the off season with, then we make our moves. You know what I mean? Then we make our moves. And then like Frank said, we'll make Mitch available for a trade for a superstar. Okay, if you sign Andre Drummond next year in the off season, that might be part of the course, and that's what's so great about the Knicks team. We have assets. Now think about in the off season, you could do a sign and trade for Lonzo. You know what I mean? If Mitch is involved, or you could do, Knicks got a lot of options, guys. So that's why I'm excited about it. Good call, Frank. Would make Mitch available for a trade for a superstar. Absolutely, if that the case may be. If you sign Drummond, you're going to have to do that. You know what I mean? But that's good. That's a good problem to have, though. You know what I mean? You bring Andre Drummond in and you send out Mitchell Robinson. Now, you got a chance to put Mitchell Robinson and whoever in the trade and some draft picks to get a superstar. We end up now we know we're gonna be talking third seed, 3 or 4th next year. You know what I mean? So that's the role we got to take. I think we just stay that course. But what do you think, man? You think anybody else out there that you would love to have on the Knicks other than what you was talking about?
Right. Wait, I'm gonna hit back to the what Brooklyn Belly said about Drummond making me nervous as far as messing up the gritty, the hungry currency. Drummond is not known as a bad person. I don't know too much about him or team chemistry. He's just been on some bad teams. Maybe he'll come here. He sees a winning culture, and he's from here, Mount Vernon. Motivation. I don't think he'll hurt the chemistry. Right, but it will be a logjam with that. And Drummond and Randall grab all the rebounds. I agree with that, Frank. And also, you could play, like I said, we could play. You could play a twin tower. You could throw in a Mitch Robinson and Julius Randle and Drummond in the playoffs. Remember, this is a rotation that you want to have length right now and depth and then it gets short in the playoffs. Once you're in and you see who's playing, you go with the hot hand, and then you start increasing Drummond's minutes if it is Drummond here with that, and we'll see how that goes with that. If it happens, if it's Drummond, but if not, going into the all season with $55 million in cap space to be able to sign players and make trades, sign and trade. Then if you want to move it, you can move a Mitchell Robinson to bring in Alonzo Ball because you can always draft a center because since the NBA is no longer a center driven league, it's more of a guard and wing league. You could bring in a center who stretches the floor as well as a backup. You might have you could get a Mo Bamba type of player that and bring in here the backup center role to play. Or you could draft them because we're gonna have a lot of picks. We're gonna have second round picks. You trust your scouting on find that diamond in the rough from a low mid college team that and that has potential that you could bring them onto the NBA roster. You always have the G League to place him there to develop, and you could store them there. So those are the things we could see. There's a lot of moving. There's a lot of way of attacking and boosting up the roster in the off season on there. And I see Frank says after Drummond, we still have enough space for the claw. I probably think so. I think so because maybe they're gonna, they're gonna talk to them about the plan. They're gonna say, listen, you're getting already paid this much. We're gonna offer you this much, contract with maybe a player's option. Maybe they'll sign him a 2-year deal with a player's option that you could opt out and try to get a max contract. And he'll probably take it because we have thoughts of if something happens, we're thinking of XY player that's coming in here. We bring them in here with you and XYZ. They know what they're talking there. They're professionals. They'll lay out the groundwork, the plan. They have a plan. They look like they're sticking to it no matter what. They're sticking to their guns, even if they get a Godfather offer like they said they had in the trade deadline. Thibodeau said, but they stood pat. And we'll trust the process on that. But of course, Kawhi Leonard in New York will be phenomenal. Phenomenal. That's a good placeholder for Zion Williamson until he gets here, and then we'll switch. We'll replace the claw with Zion.
Yep. Let me say one thing. My man BX Jedi have been consistent with that, guys. BX Jedi see Zion Williamson in New York and coming around. So he put that out there. Is here. So when it happened, you heard it first on Knicks Real Talk. So you put that out there. But yeah, man, it's interesting, brother. Yeah, the Claw Randall and Andre Drummond would be a problem, bro. That would be a problem for a lot of teams. Because now you got that small forward who can lock down just about anybody. You know what I mean? RJ Barrett defense is crazy. You know what I mean? He is getting much better and better. He's definitely one of the a nice two-way player now. You know what I mean? And Drummond, he give you 2 blocks a game down there. But so it's interesting, man. It's interesting. It really is. You know what I mean? Because what's so crazy? You think about this route you can go if you didn't get Andre Drummond. Hypothetically, say you had Mitchell Robinson, Julius Randle, the Claw, RJ Barrett, and then you go get that point guard. So. Yeah.
And,
you know what I mean?
And just to let you know, April 9th is the deadline to have been bought out and be on a roster to be eligible for the playoffs. So April 9th is that date, which is not so far away. It's about
not far away.
Not that far away, about 2 weeks away. And Frank Michael says that we will have a Drummond answer within the next 24 hours or so. I don't know. Or also, I think the quicker the better, so he can get acclimated on his new team. Learn the system, and get on there and get his legs under him because it is getting the playoffs are coming quick. Next thing you know, we're getting ready and seeding and who we're gonna play and what city and if there's gonna be a bubble or not. So yeah, I think he needs it would benefit him to say that. And kudos to you, Frank, for bringing that up through Woj, through the Wojnarowski. We'll give him the props for letting us know that. That's why we appreciate you guys here on Knicks Real Talk. You guys bring us information, and we have our information, and we collaborate as a team to bring this program for you guys. And I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Knicks Real Talk, man. From a fan for the fans. Y'all guys make the show. We don't make the show. Y'all guys make the show. The fans make the show. The show don't make the fans. Y'all know how I get down. And me and BX Jedi, man. Knicks Real Talk, the night show. Just chilling on the night. No Knicks basketball, man. We here just cutting it up with the chat and everybody out there, man. Subscribe to the channel, man. Hit that thumbs up button, man, and support the show because we doing it for you guys and doing it because we love to do it. But we love y'all support. We thank y'all so much for all the support, man. So yeah, man, it's gonna be this buyout market, like you said, April 9th. Wow, that's interesting. You know what I mean? For it to be so, it's like no team is in a rush, but the sooner the better for a lot of teams. So and I think Courtney Dane got bought out, if I'm not mistaken. And remember, Courtney Dane played under Tom Thibodeau down there in Minnesota, if I'm not mistaken. You know what I mean? So we'll see, man. We'll see how the thing bounces, man. But so with the buyout thing is gonna be real interesting, and like Frank said, parole that within 24 hours, Drummer might have an answer for somebody. So that's good to get it on out the way. And for me, if we get them, phenomenal, great. And if we don't get them, I'm not even disappointed. Let me put that out there as a Knicks fan. And it's I'm not disappointed because we'll get them later. If we really want them, we'll get them. If he wanted, see, it's not really about if we could. Do he want to be here? No matter how bad the Knicks want him, it's what Andre Drummond want to do. Do Andre Drummond want to come to the Knicks, or he want to go to LA to a contender? You know what I mean? So, or he want to go to Boston, or he want to go to Charlotte. We in the hunt, but you always got to remember, no matter what we can offer him, it's going to all boil down to what he want to do. Is Andre Drummond say, I'm ready to get a ring? Or if I think I come to New York and get the money, I still would be able to get a ring if I go there because I can help the team get to the certain area, to certain spot, and we get there. So it's interesting to see how the Andre Drummond thing gonna play out. But LaMarcus Aldridge, I think, from what I hear, he's talking about him going down to the Miami Heat. So that's another one out there. We had to see, man. We had to see guys, and we think what happened, man. And but if he come down, then I know it's gonna better the team no matter what, because he's a talent. I mean, you can't whether you like him or not, the man is a talent. You know what I mean? And knowing a coach like Tom Thibodeau, who all he did since he been here was coach talent. You know what I mean? That's interesting. Jason Swell just jumped in the chat, man. Jason, well, appreciate you coming in, man. He said interesting topic. No L. Every D Rose started. Game Noel playing out his mind. Randall leader, good. Nilakina, Pippen to RJ. MJ Burks, Kobe IQ, Iverson, Kobe IQ is Allen Iverson, Mitchell Robinson is Mitchell was Robinson. I got you, bro. Yo, that's legit though. So we know it's different. It's cool, man. That was a good one. That was a good one, man, Jason. But yeah, man, I feel that way about the team, man. It's just that I like the team we have. I just think them brothers some gritty, scrappy. They've been showing me something the last 6-7 games since that Brooklyn Net game. The team been showing me something all year, but since that Brooklyn Net game to now, this team showed me what they made of. And Knicks got a good team down there, man. And we all been watching Knicks basketball for a long time, and the eye test don't lie. You can't deny what your eyes see. You know what I mean? You can try to spin it, flip it all you want to, but what your eyes see, I just see a gritty basketball team, man. They love to play together. They're playing for the coach. They're playing for the city. They're playing for the organization. They're playing for the fans. They're bringing it every night. You know what I mean? That's so legit to see, man. It feels good being a Knicks fan right now. You know what I mean? And I hope we stay that way. I hope we get somebody in this buyout market. And then we go to the next episode, man. We're gonna get it, man. So we here. We just gonna do that, man. And so like I said, man, the game, the recap from the other day, we can get back into that. That was a good comeback win for us, man. Good comeback win for us. We played, we hung in there, we battled. And we stayed in there. Our defense kept us in the game until our offense caught up to us. And I was excited, BX, man. I was just kind of like, okay, I'm going to be poised. I'm going to sit here and chill, and then until y'all make this run. And sure enough, man, like that third quarter, RJ said, okay, let's. I got my right hand man. He's not scoring too many points tonight. Let me pick up the slack. RJ showed you why he was, like he said, he's a Pippen to that Jordan right now. Hypothetically, guys, not comparing the players. I'm just saying what they mean to each other. But I think that was impressive, man. What do you think about that winning element? Because it was definitely gritty, though.
Oh man, that fourth quarter in my house, I was by myself with one of my dogs, and I was screaming defense. I was all by myself, defense, screaming defense, going on there, getting excited. Pumped up. It was good to see that. I really enjoy that fourth quarter. I was actually going back and forth with City for Real. Shout out for City for Real. I hope you're doing well, my brother. We were texting back and forth. Hey, this is gonna. We were going in the middle of the fourth quarter, and he was like, "I can't take this," and we were like, and I was going back and forth. So this is another reason why Knicks Real Talk connects everybody from everywhere, for everyone in the community. I wanted to bring that, and I wanted to give City a shout out with that. Because we were going back and forth. And we were all engaged with that, and it was phenomenal. I was like felt so proud after that game. I'm like, wow, and it was like an exhale of fresh of just so much joy. And I wanted to say about the Alfred Payton. I see that Frank that doesn't Alfred Payton is serviceable. We can't get anyone to upgrade right now, so we have to deal with Alfred Payton. He's serviceable for us. He's not flashy, but he gets the job done. He's that Honda Accord, that gets us to point A to point B without being late. It's gonna start. It's not pretty, but it'll get us there. And we'll get the Porsches later. We'll get the Porsches. Right now. Let's just he's on our team. Let's hope he does well. And I know we could upgrade on that with Alfred Payton with that. But back to that game, when I saw that the Knicks started hitting the three at the end of the game, I was like, oh my God, they're 7 for 28. They were 5 for 20. I'm like, oh my God, it's not gonna be our night. But they quickly has ice water veins, and he started moving the ball around. And Frank, and like I told you, one of the big things was Taj Gibson, man. I can't stop thinking about how valuable Taj Gibson was for this team, Divine. And I mentioned to you that I said he's here because he will pull Obi to the side, and you saw that with Randall doing that with Obi. They're speaking to him, the mentors. They tell him about the how the Sibs, hey, keep it going, keep attacking. This is what I've seen. It's not having another coach on the floor, and that's only going to get better with Rose because he knows Thibodeau's system, and he's going to be out there and he's going to help out with it quickly. You don't think Quickly's game is elevated because he's working with Rose and Rose knowledge. Remember when Rose first came on this team, the first two guys that he took out to dinner, or I think he called right away, was Obi and Emmanuel, and he says, "Hey, we're going to get this," And also when you were telling about the Knicks, when the Brooklyn game and all that, when I knew they were really going to be a tough out this season was the Clippers game. When you had the Claw and you had George and everyone else and talking good praises to the Knicks, how well they playing and how tough it was. You know what? They're for real. They're for real. They're not the same old Knicks, and that's what 20 almost 15, 12 games ago, and it just keeps building because the more games that goes by, the more they're going to continue this type of effort on defense. They know that the system works. They know what they put there. They're seeing the results of their hard work. They put it not just in practice, but on the shoot-arounds and the game day and film studying and scouting reports and executing it, and they see that. So they're going to attack, and that's what we're going to keep hoping for. Now, when they bring in another player in, if they do in the buyout market, they're going to put him through the same starting field. We just got to see if Drummond is that player, if he's willing to do that adjustment and listen to the game plan. That's why, but I think he will. He's a pro. He's a good center. He has his numbers. He's been around, and I think, he's coming home, and he's going to want to shine in home, he's from Mount Vernon. I don't think he goes to the Brooklyn Nets. I don't think he will to Brooklyn. I think it's going to be New York and Los Angeles. I don't think anyone else. And I don't think he want to go to Charlotte because he'll be under. I think it's one of those two teams, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, like even on that game that we kept last night, what was interesting to me was the defense that they put on Westbrook and Bradley Beal. I mean, and they didn't let them guys run amok on us. And that guy said you got to give RJ his just doing his props, man, his credit, whatever. What I mean? RJ played a good defense game against Bradley Beal. What I mean? I really believe that, man. They did something. Frank, I see you, bro. You got D Rose, Bullock, RJ, Randall, and Drummond. I ain't mad at you for that. For real, I ain't mad at you for that, brother. Word on, that was a good one right there.
And our bench complements that starting lineup.
Yes.
Excellent with that.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, that's what's intriguing to me about it, man. you know, if like I said, if we get him in the buyout, then I'm good with that. And even if we don't get him, and because if we go to the Lakers ain't gonna sign him because they ain't gonna have the money. I don't think. You know what I mean? They're gonna have to because they got unless they're gonna get Derek Schroeder money away. They ain't gonna do Derek Schroeder's extension, and they going through that right now. You know what I mean? So I mean, there's other teams out there. I mean, Boston can probably do it. You know what I mean? But they look at the money they got on the books. They got maxed out Kemba. Jason Tatum got a max. I think pretty soon Jaylen Brown going to be due. You know what I mean? Because he had a 4 year. I don't know if he's in the third or fourth year with a third year, whatever. But he's going to be due. So so are you going to be able to sign all three of them and Andre Drummond to a max or close to it? That remains to be seen. So the Boston thing, I don't know if that's going to be the end all be all. But if they can pull it off, I'm quite sure they will. And then you look at like you said, the Nets. Nah, Charlotte. Yeah, they can, but I don't know if Andre Drummond would fleece New York City for Charlotte. I don't think he would. You know what I mean? I just don't. And knowing that we can sign him. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And then that'll be a whole different story. You know what I mean? Then we could sign him, and he know that, so he might like listen. Not only they could sign me, they got a damn good team. You know what I mean? They got a good team. So he know if we come Andre Drummond coming here. We guaranteed 5 to 7 more. I'm gonna go 5 to 10 more wins. You know what I mean? I mean that's gonna be hard to deal with Andre Drummond down there, and now with the way Julius Randle can play the face-up game. Now he don't get beat up as much because his jump shot is like ridiculous. You know what I mean? So if Andre Drummond was our center, knowing that the way Julius Randle outside game is producing now. RJ Barrett, man, that is something. So yeah, I could. That's the reason why I can see it happening. So whether it's in the off season or now in the buyout, either way it go, I think if we get Andre Drummond, we're gonna sign him to something. You know what I mean? So we'll see, man. And that's why I wanted to bring the recap back up last night because just from what I seen last night, the defense they put on them guys, man, and They even though Archie Mochimura had a decent game, but Julius Randle still was giving it to him in the end of that game. I was like, okay, Julius Randle, like, nah, I'm gonna give it to you when I need to give it to you, and that's when it's important. And for him to have that little, I think he bumped somebody's knee, bumped his thigh, or somebody might have had a thigh contusion. I don't know because somebody knee bumped his thigh. But, Peyton, that was the word. Yeah. So for him to do that, and what can I say about Quickly, man? When Quickly hit that jump shot, you see that passion in his, It was awesome, man, and I cannot remiss if I don't talk about that in that third quarter when RJ got that tip back in. I think that would spark that whole thing. The end of that third quarter, RJ like let's go, and they came out in that last quarter, and they're like, all right, so that was awesome, and they chipped away and they grinded 23-22, fifth in the association, man, in the Eastern Conference. I'm talking about playoff chase. We looking good out there. Knicks looking good. We got a big game tomorrow against the Milwaukee Bucks in Milwaukee. Then we come back home for the Miami Heat, and so it's gonna be interesting, man. We just got to keep banging it out, BX, and I think we'll be fine, and I think we be good to go, man. So I'm excited about that. Anybody anything you want to put in the chat, man, go ahead and put it in there. BX, man, what's your next thought, man? You got any thoughts we want to topic on?
Yeah, I was gonna bring down the next 5 games because when we do this look ahead in the Knicks Real Talk, we always look at the next 5 the current 5 games, and we think if the Knicks go X, Y, and Z in the next 5 games, would you sign up for it? And the next 5 game, we got the Knicks on the road tomorrow night at 8:00 at Milwaukee. Then they're back home Monday night to host the Miami Heat. Tip off is at 7:30. Then they're on the road to Minnesota at 8:00. Then they're back home. It's a nationally televised game against Kristaps Porzingis and the Dallas Mavericks come in at 7:30. Hopefully we're full strength for that game, and if Andre Drummond is here, he's available. If he signs with us, it would be nice to have him on national TV, show off our new toy on that. And then the Knicks travel back-to-back night to Detroit. Shout out to the Prince. I know he'll be in the building to watch that game. He told us he'll be there when he came on Knicks Real Talk, and I know he'll be there enjoying watching his Pistons in person. Actually, watching the Knicks beating his hometown Pistons, like the way I do when the Knicks come to Orlando. I like to go in the stands and see the Knicks go in there and battle them. Yeah, but that's the next 5 games, and there's a lot of winnable games there. I could see 4-1 in that stretch for the New York Knicks. That
Wow.
I'm calling a 4-1. I'm thinking they're going to go 4-1 in those games, and let's going to start with the one tomorrow night. It's the very first. Always get the first one. That's what I say. What do you think, Divine?
You know what? That's gonna be tough. I could. You know what? I could definitely see the Pistons. I definitely see the Magic game. I think we can go into Minnesota, beat them. So that Heat game in the Garden, revenge game. If especially if we got our soldiers back, yeah, that'd be crazy. Yeah. Dangerous Russ said very optimistic with 4-1. I agree with you, bro. He's optimistic, but that's how we got to be, though. So, but you know what? I do think I think we get the Detroit game. I think we'll beat Chris Porzingis at the Garden. I really believe he's gonna beat them there. Him and Luka Doncic, they ain't playing no defense like ours all year, so I ain't trying to hear that. And I think I definitely the Timberwolves game on the road. I think. We can get that. Brooklyn Belly said Boston up 20 over the Bucks in the fourth quarter.
I was going to break down in a moment the scores around the league.
And Dangerous say 718 said he'd take 2 and 2. Dangerous, I'm gonna go
out of 5. You're missing one more game, Dangerous. Russell, you're missing one more game, Russell.
Missing one more game. I know it. Woo! I want to say 3 and 2, but I'm gonna go with you. I'm gonna go on 4-1. I'm going 4-1, no doubt about it.
I don't say 5-0 because then I sound a little crazy because they're going to get
right.
But I think it's going to go 4-1. I think because Milwaukee's on a back-to-back tomorrow night. That's my thought. And the way this team is inspired, and I think Bullock will be back. I'm hoping, and even Noel will be back there, and
Derrick Rose.
Maybe Rose. I think Rose will be for Miami. I think Rose will come back against Miami. Yeah, because I think they'll just say, you know what, same one more game. We'll go on the road on this road trip, stay home, and get ready. And I don't drink. I don't drink.
Absolutely dangerous. I see you, bro. You know what? And I'm taking this 4-1. That's predicating that we get our players back. You know what I mean?
Right.
If we get Noel, Burks, and Derrick Rose. I will put that 4-1 out there. If we don't, then I'm going to go 3 and 2. If our players come back, that's why I'm so intriguing to see what our team look like when we're in full capacity. You know what I mean? I'm dying to see that when we get all healthy, and everybody there, and you got so many parts that you could interchange and come in there, and we be strong at every position. We and even if Obi have a bad game. You could bring Knox in, or even if Knox don't come in, you could bring another guy in there just to fill in. So it's gonna be interesting. And Dangerous said Rose is the key. I agree, man. We have to see. Hopefully, we get Rose back. I know he's close, man. Like you said, if it ain't this game, it's the home game against mine. But I know he's close. But here's the thing, though. Tomorrow night, guys, by the Bucks getting blown out by Boston, they're gonna be on a mission tomorrow. You know what I mean? Antetokounmpo ain't gonna try to lose no 2 games in a row, but that have nothing to do with it. Is who you playing. So if Boston can beat them by 20, then we can play them too. You know what I mean? So
remember the Bucks struggled early in the season too. They were struggling, before they got that. So could it be something that their teams are seeing in the scouting report or something? They might have an off shooting night or you don't know the Knicks and Bruises because they are a very good shooting perimeter team. So you could have a stretch where we might be lucky to get them 2 nights in a row where their perimeter shooting is not that up to par. And especially the way we play defense, and especially on a back night, anything could happen there. But I wanted to go over to the association real quick with the scores. I've got the Brooklyn Nets holding on to a 113-111 with 3 seconds on the clock, final possession against the Pistons of Detroit. We have we talked about the Celtics 121-101 over the Bucks, and that's 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter. You have the Suns defeated the Raptors today 104-100 here in Tampa, Florida. We have the Pelicans up on the Nuggets. That's early in the fourth quarter. We have the Rockets actually up 94-83 against the Timberwolves. That's also the start of the fourth quarter. And we have the Trailblazers 1 point lead on the Orlando Magic, my hometown Magic team here. There, and that's early in the fourth quarter, undermanned. And you have Hornets all over the Miami Heat, 92-75 with 1 minute left in the third quarter. It looks like we're going to gain ground on Miami, and we got the Mavericks currently trailing the Pacers 61-48. That's also in the beginning of the third quarter. And later tonight, you have the Hawks and Warriors, the Cavaliers and Lakers. So that's a quick run around the league, the teams that we are chasing and the current scores. And it looks like it's going to be like this every night. We're scoreboard watching, folks, because our Knicks are in a battle in this conference and right in the middle of it. And we want them to keep that fourth seed and move up and be up and keep an eye on that and report it here to you guys. Divine, what do you think?
Yeah, man. I agree. I think that Heat game is big. Obviously, the Nets game, they won their game. They're gonna win their game. But in the Celtics game, we wish the Bucks would have beat them. But we know it is what it is. But the Suns beating the Raptors is good. You know what I mean? And the Hornets beating the Heat, that's good. Because I think you got to get Hornets their props though. You know what I mean? They playing good basketball, but beating the Heat is good. You know what I mean? And the Magic, they know where they're going. You know what I mean? So they going the other direction. And that Pacers Maverick game, and the Pacers over the Maverick, but I don't know hopefully when the dust settles, the Mavericks win the game. Other than everybody wanted them to lose because of the lottery pick. But if we dealing with the standards right now, of course you want them to beat the Pacers. You know what I mean? So that'd be interesting right there. And then them the real important games to us, them ones right there, and also that Hawks and Warriors game tonight. I mean, that's a big game right there for us too. You know what I mean? So we love to see the Hawks go in there and lose to the Warriors. And especially the Warriors got trampled the other night by somebody. And that'd be interesting, man. And obviously the Cavaliers, where they headed. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's what it is now. I just think the team that's playing in our conference, they got to lose too. You know what I mean? So nobody's going undefeated. You know what I mean? We know that. So we're gonna be a night when we lose. We're not winning the next 27 games. We're not going 27-0. So obviously we're gonna lose some games too. But the thing is, we got to win the games that we can win, and let these teams keep battling each other. And giving each other L's, and we just maintain. I think we're gonna be fine. I like that, man. He said, dangerous. Dangerous said, who would you want the Knicks to play in the first round? All of the top four are tough. I would like to go in the first round. Dangerous. We can get that. That's why I want to stay in that 6-5-4 range. Obviously, if we don't get the 4, that way I would love to play the 5, play the 4. You know what I mean? I would love, depending on who be the 4th seed, if we are the 5th seed, I would love to be in that spot right there. I would love to be the 4th or 5th seed. That way we get to play that team who's right next to us, get a chance to knock them off, and then we had to deal with the tougher top 3 in the next round. That would be an outstanding season to me. If the Knicks can go in the first round and if we can stay in that 4 or 5 spot, which is going to be hard to do, because a lot of people are not going to predict us to do it, but I see it differently in a sense because of who our team is. If we can stay there dangerous, I definitely would love to be part of that top 4. Like you said, end up 4th or 5th. That's what I would like to be. He said he think Miami will be 4th. Okay, so if Miami 4th, see, then you got to think about this here. Boston might say if they get on their run, they can go ahead of us and be 5th because they were there last year. But BI he's not confident with that. So yeah, man, it'd be nice if we could get that 5th seed. What do you think?
My opinion, it might be Miami, although they're losing a couple games, and I said we don't know how that chemistry is with that. You have a Butler isn't selfish, and Depot isn't either. But you don't know. They need to get acclimated. Maybe just like they don't want to step on each other's toes, and they might not work out. I don't think the Knicks will finish 8th either, Brooklyn Belly. I think they're going to finish anywhere from, like I said, they'll be 5th. They'll play Miami if it is Miami or even Charlotte, 4 or 5 series. The worst case scenario, if it is, I would like to be, and I'll dare to say, I'm going to say it first round. I won't mind playing the 6th seed, being the 3rd seed, going to play Brooklyn. Mm-hmm. I want Brooklyn. I actually want them in the 2nd round badly because I think with an Andre Drummond, I think we could beat the Brooklyn Nets despite their because KD's how many games is Kevin Durant going to have to get back into basketball shape and acclimating? I mean, the guy's a walking bucket, yes, but it's a team concept. As you can see, the Knicks and what wins is team defense, team, and our talent always superior too. But when we were the way the Knicks play, when he had Andre Drummond, boy, anything could happen. You cannot underestimate this team, and especially when you don't have to travel. If you play Brooklyn, I mean, what are you going to cross the Brooklyn Bridge? I mean,
Right.
that's the most travel you're going to do.
And listen, that would be a home game anyway.
Exactly.
It would be a home game anyway.
Exactly. And that will fall into the psyche of the Brooklyn players. Like, you know what? I came all the way here, and then we don't even got fans cheering us. You know, Durant or Harden. They've been in markets where they were the only show in the and now they're sharing the market, and they're noticing that, oh wow, they're second fiddle. So imagine that in the playoff. That's gonna, I wouldn't mind if the worst case scenario. I want Brooklyn first round. The worst case scenario. I don't think they'll finish 8. I don't even think they'll even be in the play-in tournament. I don't think so. They play the way they play. They've been gritty. Despite the fact at the end of the season we do have a tough schedule on that West Coast trip, but we have a lot of winnable games coming up in the next 10 games. They're very winnable. They're games that if we play our defense and we continue to execute, we're going to be in them to win it. We're going to be either last possession or a run away from actually going ahead or winning. And with all these games that experience that we had, that's going to carry over to a positive effect with the team. So that's why that's why I looked at that schedule, the next 5 games, and I say 4-1. Remember, the Knicks have not hit their stride yet. They haven't been on a consistent winning streak. The largest one was 3 games in a row, and they haven't peaked. When the team gets all healthy together, and we bring in, maybe we are going to bring in the buyout market of Drummond, then let's start peaking. Let's start going in the playoffs as a hot goalie as a team, and team defense and team play and unselfishness wins in the playoffs. It always do. The refs sort of swallow their whistles. They let you play a little more, and that's only going to benefit the Knicks with the defense. They're moving, and that's one thing that's going to worry is the shooting. But you could see that they're 11th in 3-point shooting. And even though they're low on attempts, but they're 11th, in the league, and then they're climbing. So we trust the process, and we'll see the good results.
Yeah, absolutely. The Celtics beat the Bucks tonight. The Bucks they lose the game. The Hornets at the end of the third quarter they down 13, like you said. The Magic only down 6 to the Blazers. That's amazing. With 7 minutes left in the fourth quarter, the Pacers they down 15. With 8 minutes left in the third quarter. That's still early there. But what's interesting, like tomorrow, obviously we got the Bucks tomorrow. Here go another key game. The Celtics going to be at the Thunder. You know what I mean? So they be on the road tomorrow. The Bulls going to play the Spurs on the road. Obviously the Pistons and the Wizards, that's not really a concern. And that's them the only game is Lightning Association. The Sixers play the Clippers. And so for us to play the Bucks. So the good thing about tomorrow is the Celtics got a back-to-back. Bucks got a back-to-back. You know what I mean? And them the most important games is really pretty much us and the Bulls and the Spurs, and because now that you're gonna see how they're gonna respond with their power they brought in, and that's what I mean, man. We just got to win the game that we have to win, and keep just doing what we're doing. You know what I mean? Like I said, we already told Vegas to kick rocks, that we already got the 22 wins, so. That's what I mean. I think people. I understand why they do predictions. I get it. They just try to. But sometimes you can't test the team until you see how they play. You know what I mean? I just think that our team, with the defense that we play, I just think that on any given night, think about this here. Think about what we held Brooklyn to with them 2 guys they got. Think about what we held the Sixers to with the 2 guys that they had that night. Granted, ain't no Embiid there and wasn't no but we didn't have guys neither. Not saying our guys is superior than the guy they didn't have, but for the team makes our team better. So think about what we held Bradley Beal and Russell Westbrook to 2 games in a row. That's the part I think a lot of people are not paying attention to. Our defense is shutting down some primary dudes up in this league. You know what I mean? Mike Frazier, Fritz, so we see you, my brother. Salute, Knicks for life. I'll see you, my dude, Mike. Yeah, and I think that's what's impressive, man, is that our defense. We went up against some creme de la creme superstars. Think about the guy that we played the last 5 games: James Harden, and Curry, Ben Simmons, and Tobias Harris. You know what I mean? Vukovic, Fourier, Gordon. Then we played Russell Westbrook and Bradley Beal in 1 week. You know what I mean? 1 week.
Giannis. Don't forget Giannis.
Yeah, right.
Kyrie Irving. You know.
That's what I mean. Yeah, and for us, yeah. So that what gives me confidence in our team, because our defense, R.J. Barrett and Reggie Bullock and them dudes, man. And man, listen, now you got Noel and Mitchell Robinson that paint. Let's forget the scoring part, because we know. And if Alex Burks keep doing what he's doing, you best believe the Knicks gonna be here. Because that's like having that third punch. You know what I mean? You know, that's like having that third scorer who can give you 20. So if RJ can give you 20, Julius Randle can give you 20, and if Burks can maintain what he's doing, give you 20, we good. Then you get Derrick Rose back, Emmanuel quickly still doing what he's doing. You know what I mean? Noel get back. You know, and you don't know who we're gonna pick up in the buyout market. People got to be careful, man. The Knicks going to be a tough out. They're going to be a tough out. I really believe that. You know what I mean? Because I just like the way these last 6 games just showed me that we are playing playoff-type basketball. You know what I mean? And even though we lost to Brooklyn, we lost to Philly, that's not the point. It's how we played in them losses. You know what I mean? That's what I'm so intrigued about, is how we played in the losses. You know, like I said, in all of the losses that we had, combined 10 points. You know what I mean? 5 to Brooklyn, 3 to Philly the first time, 1 the second time. You know what I mean? And then that's amazing. You know what I mean? So I think I like our puncher's chance, BX. I really do. So I think we can stay in the fifth spot, 5th to 4th if we go hard enough, and we'll see. We'll see.
I see that Brooklyn Betty said he'd rather be in the play-in game and the draft lottery. That would have been that narrative would have been fine in the beginning of the season, especially if we were struggling down the gate and we were just right now in position of just barely making the trade game. Then say, yeah, but this team worked so hard. They bought in, they put in the work, they excited us, they made us, they brought joy to the season, and you want them to just keep on going and change. And they already changed the perspective. They changed Vegas' perspective. They changed everyone around the league's perspective. The organization's changing their perspective on how they seem to view the future of this team. You now you want them to you know what, they're maturing way ahead of schedule. And you know what? The Knicks never showed anyway in the past that they draft well anyway in the lottery. With our recent history, but they always draft well in the later rounds. So why not build on this and go forward? We have a lot of picks. You can always package extra trick picks to pick up anybody you want anyway. If you wanted to get a draft pick, in the top lottery, like maybe a 7th and move back in, you could offer one of the 2 number ones that we have to get that. If you're really coveting a young player that you'll see in the draft that you want. So if you have the opportunity to win and you have the opportunity to go ahead for it, and you so close, you might not go for it. They brought us this far. They brought us this excitement. You don't want to let down disappointment. Now that's like, no, why are we gonna punt? No, that's why we have to change that perspective, us as Knicks fans as well. This is a winning is going to be, there we say we're going to be winners of the leagues now. We're no longer laughing stocks. We're no longer the butt of the jokes. We're no longer of all the comedians making fun of us. We're going to do what we set out, and it's to win. And the championship, we don't know, but they're going to be, at least they're going to be involved in it. They're going to throw their name is going to be in the hats on who's going to be, if they're going to be in the championship or on a conference finals and in the near future, which is exciting.
Yeah, I think we close. And I just want to make one point on the draft because we have drafted well, other than Barrett and Porzingis, in the high though. So we did draft them 2 up real high. Them 2, but other than them 2, like you're right, man, we haven't been hitting on them the mid draft picks. You know what I mean? Like you said, the later round, we getting the Quickleys and the Mitchell Robinsons. You know what I mean? But here's another thing on Brooklyn Belly too. You could trade 2 first-round draft picks to move up to the lottery. You know what I mean? Knicks got 2 first rounders. And that's what's so great about where they at. They could tell a team, if the Knicks really wanted somebody that bad, they say, "I'll give you 2 first rounders to move up, and this and that, whatever." So I think they're in a good spot no matter where they land at. But I think right now it's important for our team to build a winning mentality. And I think that's what we're doing. Because in order for us to get these players that everybody talk about, we got to have a winning mentality. You know what I mean? We can't be the bottom of the feed. Because they're like, well, I'm going to go there for it. They're not, you know, they're not really. So now we playing the way we playing and we balling the way we balling. Stars are going to recognize, okay, we can go there. You know what I mean? We can go there. And I think we can make some noise because of the coach, the players that we had. I think RJ Barrett and Julius Randle, you put anybody next to them that's legit, I think we good. You know what I mean? Because think about it. You know, just think about, look what we doing with Alex Burke giving us 20. You know what I mean? A night. Imagine having a player next to them that do that on a regular with our defense. You know what I mean? With the Knicks defense having 3 players in your starting lineup that can give you 20 points. You know what I mean? So it's that's awesome. You know, and because that's how Miami is. Miami got Jimmy, but they ain't got no 30 points. For him, between him, Bam Adebayo, you got your 2 20-point scores there. You know what I mean? When they're healthy, and everybody else, they can give you that too. On like even you look at Tyler Hero. Tyler Hero playing that role like Alex Burks is playing a Tyler Hero role to me now. He's that third guy can give you 20. You know what I mean? And I think we have that. You know what I mean? So I think we gotta Mike Fritz said and 2 seconds. Right? I agree with you. It's many ways to get to that a lot of teams. It's a many ways to get in that lottery and get up there if you really want to, because what we have. So I mean that's what it is, man. 60+ million in cap space and 2 first round and a second round pick. We solid, yo. I agree with you, Mike. We solid. And with the team that we have, man, it don't even go up from here. I think the Knicks win 30, between 30. I'm gonna go out on the limb and say 34 to 36 games this year. That's almost like 500. If we go 36 and 36, 72, I said we were the 500 basketball team. I think we can achieve that. Say we go 36 this year. We get in there, and we in the playoffs in the first round, and we get above the buyout, or I'm in the play-in, I meant to say. And even if we get in the play-in, we don't care. I think we're good enough to beat anybody if once we get in the play-in. But if that's the case, then the Knicks look good, man. You know, they look good, man. I'm excited, man. Like I said, we that's the reason why we on this show tonight. Salute to the chat. Salute to everybody out there, man, checking the show out. Knicks Real Talk, the night show. It's your man Divine, BI Jedi 76, BX Jedi 76. We in here holding it down for you guys, man. And Knicks Real Talk on the night. We ain't no Knicks basketball, but tomorrow night we go into Milwaukee, handle our business, hopefully, and come back to the Garden and play Miami Heat. Boy, if we win that game tomorrow night, that's gonna be interesting. What? That's gonna be interesting. So y'all stay up, man, and we're gonna be chiming out in pretty soon. And tomorrow morning, 7:30, y'all know Knicks Real Talk, the morning show. Me and BX Jedi be hitting y'all up in the morning, so you know we're gonna get off so we can prepare for the show tomorrow, man. But I appreciate everybody checking in. Salute to the chat. Salute to all the Knicks fans out there, man. Knicks playing good basketball right now, man. 23 and 22. 5th in the association in the Eastern Conference standings, trying to stay in the playoff hunt. And those going to be interesting, man. We just got to keep battling, keep grinding, and all that good stuff. Let BX get some last words in, man, and then I'll come back with the closeout. But I want to thank everybody for chiming in tonight, man. That's for real. BX.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone. Thank you all that are engaged with us here on the chat. Thank you for all that listening with us and catching us on the rewind later on as well. We appreciate you giving us the likes and the thumbs up and the subscription. You can follow us also on Facebook at Knicks Real Talk, the group. We're there. We'll go ahead and follow. We have also notes and stats on the game as we go along there. And we thank you for giving us this time and making us part of this Friday evening with you. And we hope that we'll see you here for you tomorrow morning. And hit that subscribe and that notification buttons every time we come on. And look for us in the near future to come up with. We have not just Knicks Real Talk, but we have New York sports, New York baseball talk, and New York football talk coming up as well. We'll keep you posted on that also in the Facebook page and on our channel, because we're a week away from spring training baseball, and we got a lot to unpack with both Yankees and the Mets. You know, the final roster spots, the final cuts, and what are our predictions, what Vegas predicts on the New York Knicks rotation, on the New York Yankees, rotation, and the Mets, and we'll break all that down. And we'll thank you guys and for me, you have a good night from Bronx Jedi, and I ask you guys, and I say that you guys be blessed, and we'll see you in the morning.
Yep. Before I head out here, let me give a couple more chats just came in. Spurs 50 million and the Knicks got 60 million in cap space. Camilio said everyone wanted a max free agent field all season, but I personally love this all season coming up with many players that can benefit us. Yes, indeed, I agree with you, Camilio. So shout out to the Knicks Real Talk from West Palm Beach, Big Sloop Mike, man. I see you down here, down in Palm Beach. Your boy BX Jedi right in your neighborhood somewhere down there. So salute. And yeah, man, y'all keep subscribing. We got many shows coming up on the channel, man. We got the show called The Building Blocks, which is a real estate show, teaching you guys how to deal with real estate and investing and all that stuff. Man, we're gonna have a fishing channel popping off on here. So we got the baseball season, the football season coming around. We hopefully we're gonna get this fishing show thing popping off with BX Jedi, and gonna bring you some fishing news and notes and good stuff like that. So we open, man. We just here to bring some dialogue to the fans. We appreciate y'all coming on tonight, man. And it's been a blessing. So Matt, Mike, Camilio, everybody dangerous, 716, Brooklyn Belly, all you guys, man. We appreciate y'all coming in tonight, hanging out with us as usual. This is a show from a fan for the fan. Y'all understand the fan make the show don't make the fans. So without y'all, there is no Knicks Real Talk, man. Frank Matos, salute to you, my brother, for checking in. Jason Shawell, Brooklyn Belly, all you guys, man. Salute. Will, Knicks Real Talk, man. The night show, man. We about to sign off. You can catch us tomorrow morning at 7:30 on the morning show for those who rise and shine like we do, to give you Knicks news, notes, and content before the morning, for the day start, so you can get back home and watch that Knicks game that night, man. So everybody be safe. Y'all know the drill. Mask up, wash your hands, social distance. COVID-19 is still definitely out there, man. And just protect yourself, your loved ones, your neighbors, your friends, your family, and all that good stuff until this thing subside, man. Hopefully you guys who willing to take it, I took it, get your vaccine, and all that good stuff, man. Whatever, man. But be safe out there. Salute. Peace. I'm out. BX Jedi, Divine, we checking out. We see y'all in the morning, man. Peace. Knicks Real Talk, the night show, man. We out of here.
Good night.
Knicks Real Talk. Knicks Real Talk. Knicks Real Talk. It's the night show. We on prime time. 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 Knicks Real Talk. Knicks Real Talk. Knicks Real Talk. It's the night show. We on prime time. 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 Knicks Real Talk. Knicks Real Talk. Knicks Real Talk. It's the night show. We on prime time. 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 Knicks Real Talk. Knicks Real Talk. Knicks Real Talk.